of India's leading women scientist, Dr. Latha Christie, who has distinguished interdisciplinary scholar. I now invite her to deliver the keynote address.
Respected dignitaries, Dr. Venugopal, former Vice Chancellor, Bangalore University, Dr. Shan, former Dean, College of Business Administration, Niagara University, other principals of various institutions, dignitaries on the dais, organizing committee members, faculty, students, and distinguished guests. It's my pleasure to be here with you during this time of this international conference to give keynote address. This conference is on Higher Education 4.0. It's hosted by the visionary leadership of Digitalization College, Mysore. We gather here not to just gather academic insights, but to reflect deeply on the purpose of the education itself in a world that is changing more rapidly than ever before. We are living through a pivotal moment in history, the fourth industrial revolution, driven by artificial intelligence. Virtual reality, the Internet of Things, the big data is reshaping the very fabric of our lives. But amidst this rapid advancement, we must ask, are we using technology as a servant, or is it quietly becoming our master? As Dr. Shan was telling, that we expect singularity, that is when artificial intelligence becomes artificial superintelligence, it's almost equivalent to human minds. He says 2027, but I would expect it 2060 or 2070. But still, I don't feel it will equivalent to, we have consciousness, we have something else much greater than what machines have. But machines and humans, either they will collaborate or compete or kill one another, God alone knows. But as someone who has spent decades in defense research and mentoring young minds, I've seen firsthand how transformational, intelligent tools and meaningful mentorship can be. Today's learners are preparing not just for jobs, but to solve problems they haven't ever imagined before, using technologies that are still emerging. And for that, they need more than technical knowledge, they need creativity, resilience, and a deep sense of responsibility. We cannot continue with outdated educational models. Traditional classrooms are no longer enough. Higher Education 4.0 demands a new paradigm shift, one that is personalized, interdisciplinary, digitally empowered, and grounded in real-world challenges. In engineering education, this shift is already visible. AI tutors, virtual reality labs, digital twins, cyber-physical systems are transforming how students are learning. We are moving from chalk and talk to click and create. But more than smart tools, we need smart minds. Engineers who don't just ask, can we build this, but should we build this? In the field of medicine, we are seeing AI-enabled diagnosis, augmented reality in surgery, big data-driven precision healthcare. The goal is not just to produce doctors who are tech-savvy, but to combine technical skills with deep empathy and human connection. We are finally recognizing that every learner is unique, with their own pace, potential, and purpose. The humanities and ethics are more critical than ever. Education today is not just about building intelligent systems, but it's about forming wise human minds. As AI is our tool, then philosophy must be our compass, because what we design reflects what we value. So what does Higher Education 4.0 reflects or requires? It calls us to go beyond classroom into living labs, beyond lectures into dynamic dialogues, beyond knowledge into wisdom with impact. This journey is not about keeping pace with technology, it's about preserving our shared humanity. To educators, I would like to say, you are not just conveyors of content, you are architects of transformation. It's you who help shape character, spark curiosity, and nurture conscience. To the institution's heads, build not only infrastructure, but a culture of mentorship and cross-disciplinary exploration. Let your spaces foster courage, innovation, and questioning. And finally, to my dear students, the future custodians of knowledge and society, prepare not only for your careers, but also for causes The world needs not just your technical skills, but your conviction, your creativity, your courage. You're not just the workforce of the future, you are the wisdom force. Let's not simply talk about the future of education. Let's shape it together. Let this conference not just be an event, but a turning point. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon or good morning? Good afternoon. It's a privilege for me to speak on higher education for engineering smart minds. We ask ourselves, what kind of education does the future require? And even more, what kind of minds are we shaping for that future? Because we are going to see an AI future, right? Or artificial general intelligence future, or artificial super intelligence. I'm not sure what you will be seeing. But what kind of minds are we shaping for? So, it's a time when technology is advancing at a pace that we have never ever seen before. Artificial intelligence, virtual simulations, quantum computing, these are no longer future predictions. They are current realities, but in our race to build smarter machines, we must not forget that we are not building smarter machines, we must build smarter, wiser human minds. So here, that is the essence of Education 4.0. This is a new paradigm where learning is personalized, AI integrated, interdisciplinary and purpose-driven. It's about shifting from content delivery to character formation, from rigid syllabi to fluid, purpose-driven, human-centered language, human-centered learning also. And so technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. All of you would agree, right? It's a useful servant but a dangerous master. So we need to be very careful. So if you are not careful, we may produce generation of skilled coders but not wise creators. That is why this 4.0 is a very important thing. Over my years, I have been working in DRDO for around 37.5 years. This May I am going to retire. That is in another 15 days. So as a mentor, I have seen how mentorship, vision and values truly shape people. Because we should have a vision, we should have mentorship. How we are shaping people is more important. We must prepare our students not just for exams, this is for teachers, but also for a future to shape the nations. For a real world problems, they are not knowing what the problem itself is, but how they would solve it. That's how the younger generation right now is all about. So let us go to this one. So what is higher education 4.0? So as I said, it is a mixture of personalized, interdisciplinary, purpose-driven and AI integrated. So coming to this, why this topic matters? Because technology is advancing rapidly and we are not just building machines, we are shaping minds. That is why we have to shape very wise minds. That's why this particular subject is very important. So what is technology 4.0? So technology 1.0 is all about rote memorization. In those days, we are asked to memorize, everything memorized. So students were passive recipients. Teacher will be here, she'll be talking, and today so many students were getting up and asking questions. In those days, we don't ask, we just receive. So it's all about memorization, chalk and board, that was it. Then second, education 2 came. It is about standardization. We moved from system where textbooks and exams define success. That's what we entered into. All the things about examination, we have to prepare for that time and all these things went into. And learning became a byproduct. Like students were asked to conform to some pathways. Then we come to the education 3.0. Where maybe right now you are into. It's about e-learning, massive open online courses. They are offered free at low cost. Maybe they are video lectures. Today for a professor you were saying, he might be having, I have a few 20 series episode on YouTube in my name, Latha Christie, on Grand Cosmic Story. I love space, I love cosmology, and so I also am a philosopher, I love religion. So I wanted to know whether my life makes sense. So I have written 20 series documentaries on how the universe came into existence, how the stars form. So these are all into video lectures. It is there. Anybody can see. I have a green screen room in my house and I record my videos and myself I edit and I can post it, right? It's so easy now to deliver contents. So that's what platforms like Coursera, Swayam and all those things are such things. Then finally we come to 4.0. This is having amazing 3 pillars. AI tutors. And then that adapt to the student's pace. And then second is virtual and augmented reality. The third is digital twins, where we replicate the practical aspect. We just do everything in the computer, and the practical things we do it at the last moment. So no need to do again and again. So this is all Education 4.0 is all about. So coming to this, so let me take a case of a boy. Maybe somebody can tell your name. Let me tell Ara. So Ara is reading about thermodynamics from a book, right? Now in Education 4.0, what will he be doing is he manipulates the variables and runs diagnostics, get instant AI-powered feedback. This is wrong, your calculations are right, your calculations are wrong. So he gets feedback from his computer models. And then finally there are some global challenges across the world that speaks about designing energy efficient system. So when a student from India joins a global challenge with a student from Germany. And then finally what he does? With the help of again AI assistant, so many fast, the things that we do for so many years, all these designs how I make using ChatGPT. So I make figures using ChatGPT, so you can do it everything faster. Just yesterday I started designing a PPT and I designed it in just a day. So it's not tough nowadays. Everything content is so easy. So first is all about. That's why this is not a future fiction, it's happening, we are doing it right now. So these are the things which I said, AI enhanced, student-centered, project-based, and finally engineers as coders and designers. You're not just students to learn, you're coders, you're designers, your goal is wisdom, not knowledge. So this isn't about adding gadgets, it's about preparing learners for a world that is still not existing. Expecting that word. So that is why this becomes very, very important. So now coming to, these are all evolution we have seen. So now our focus is shifted from content delivery to skills and values development. From one size, earlier one book, it fits everybody. But each one of you are unique. Your DNA is much different from one more person's DNA, right? So you have unique talent. So AI caters to that. So it asks educators to become mentors. So now all your teachers will become your mentors, not just instructors. It asks institutions become eco-centers, not just systems. It asks students to become designers, not just consumers of knowledge. You're not just getting knowledge from your teachers. You're designing, you're planning for the future. So finally, why are engineers central to this? Because you have to solve climate changes, you have to solve AI ethics, sustainable cities, secure defense systems. You are seeing right now India, Pakistan, how much AI is involved, how many technology is involved, how much things you have been seeing. So now the question is not just what skills do our students need, what kind of people do we want them to become? That is what it teaches, how I want my student to become after 10 years, 20 years. So finally coming to the next point, What are the pillars of education 4.0? So till this time we saw what is 4.0 and what is it about, and now it has 3 pillars. Before exploring, I just wanted to say that from adaptive learning platforms like Squirrel, AI, Newton, to generative AI like ChatGPT, you have a lot of digital twins. It varies, but it has mainly 3 pillars. First is AI tutors. So the pillars of education: AI tutors, AR, VR labs, digital twins. These are the 3 pillars of education 4.0. So AI tutors. It analyzes how a student learns. Some students are fast learners. Some students learn slowly. So it adapts to the pace of a student. And then, for example, a student here, I'm shown here, he's working with his calculus, he's working with his equations for designing something. And now a friendly AI hologram appears. And then it shows, this is wrong, this is right, you need to go this way. And it teaches how great it will be. So that is what analyze how a student learns, artists are delivering real time, personalized pacing 24/7. Teachers cannot be there with you more than 8 hours. But an AI hologram can be there with you 24/7 hours. So that is what continuous feedback it gives. So popular tools, you should go and analyze. You should take a screenshot and go and analyze about all these tools. Squirrel AI, it personalizes micro concepts using vast data analytics. And then Newton UN, it's from US, and adaptive learning engine integrated into major curriculum. And then ChatGPT, all of you would be using it. So some of the evaluation tools, even you would like to know how I have studied. Am I increasing in knowledge? So these are some of the evaluation tools which gives feedback. It's useful for tutors, it's useful for your teachers. AI augmented assessment platform. Although I'm just noting down here because of the lack of time, you can just note it down. These are some of the things which you can use it for evaluating and assessing. These are all part of AI tutors. So next comes the augmented and virtual reality labs. That is going to become the future. You will not have the normal labs like circuit labs and others. You are going to have virtual reality labs. Like for example, in biomedical engineering, if you are doing, students can perform virtual dissections. You have a frog on the computer and you can dissect. You don't need to touch it. How great it will be. I was scared when I was doing frog dissection, but now I was so excited when I saw I can do the virtual dissection. In electronics, you need not go into the lab and do all the wiring. You can just learn this way. They can debug in aerospace using immersive dashboards. So these are some of the virtual labs. So what is a digital twin? This is the third pillar of 4.0. So here, if I want to build a satellite thermal control unit, I should simulate what is the orbital temperature, what is the radiation exposure, and rotational dynamics. So now using digital twin, I can simulate everything virtually. It saves time, cost, and risk. So you can create a digital twin in your own home, in your own lab, about a motor you are studying, about a chemical reactor you are studying. So finally you will get the final design and then you can make prototype. So the final thing what you develop, you fabricate will be exactly as per your design and you can achieve success with minimum less amount of money. So that is one advantage of digital twins. And it also helps students, you are sitting here and I am teaching you about circuit design. You will get bored, but if I give you a computer and tell you how to do yourself, you can learn. Even satellite you can simulate. So that is why it's very, very interesting. So now coming to all the 3 pillars, AI tutors, AR/VR labs, digital twins. So one is personalized, the first one gives personalized feedback. AR/VR labs, hands-on simulation. This is real-time modeling. These are all not futuristic things. They are essential foundations of tomorrow's educative system. If you are going to become a lecturer, learn about all these things. So, benefits of artificial intelligence in education. Learning at your own pace. You can learn anytime at your own pace. And access to sophisticated labs from anywhere. You can just bring in MIT computers here. You can connect IoT. You know, after some time, we are right now human beings, right? After we die, who knows where will we go? Bible says our soul is going to heaven or hell. But here, after we die, our minds, they take the brain and they synapse it. They upload the memory into a computer. So your memories, everything is uploaded. It's called as virtual you. And then they give to your hands and legs, a prosthetic hands and legs. You become a digital you even after you die. That's called as, so many movies you would have seen, right? Transhumanism. So that's what in the world, you are going to be in a world where people are moving towards a transhumanistic future, where everything is going in the high funda. I've written a science fiction script. Its name is Perfect Accidents, and that is all about this transhumanism philosophy. So, coming to finally, these are some of the key platforms. You can just note down. I'm not going to read about it because I have been told to reduce the time. These tools aren't just helping students understand theory, they are empowering them to explore, fail, and learn from that. And that's no matter wherever, whichever place you are. So any student, if they just put some effort and interest in that, they can learn that. So now, next session. The first one we saw about what are the three pillars, what is Education 4.0 and what is the evolution, then what are the three pillars of Education 4.0. Next, I wanted to talk about creators of intelligent systems. What kind of minds are shaping these tools? What is your mind? I'm now going to talk about your mind because we are now seeing the incredible tools transforming modern educations. But what kind of minds are we shaping with these tools? Because education isn't just about delivering content or simulating complexity. It's about forming creators. You are the creator. Somebody said God created us and we are creating something else. And God created us so beautifully, wonderfully in His own image. How are we creating what we want to create? So students are no longer just consumers. They are becoming AI model developers, system architects, ethical coders, and then designers of automation that will shape the future economies and societies. So that is why, to be true creators of intelligent systems, you should go beyond the technical. You should understand how algorithms impact humans. Is this tool fair? Is it accessible to everyone? Designed for real-world benefit without causing any harm. Are we solving the right problems or creating another problem? That's more important. Then always we should ask, what are the human consequences of this technology? Will this help people flourish or will it widen existing gaps? This is not just a luxury, it's a responsibility. So that's why you are future generations, you are custodians of human values. You see, every powerful system needs governance, not technically, but ethically. And that governance must be rooted in human values. So what values must guide? What values must guide an intelligent system? Empathy. Will this help the most vulnerable in our society? Justice. Does this design include or exclude based on the bias? Transparency. Can we explain how the system works and why it makes the decisions it does? So these are all so important. These are all not abstract ideas. These are design principles, ethical architectures. Because without these values, intelligence, how much ever advanced intelligence you have, it can become dangerous. We should not end up creating a society governed by algorithms who cannot challenge, who cannot understand. We must train our students not only to engineer systems, but to steward society. So next such thing, we saw about the four education, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we saw the 3 pillars. Then we came why this is important. Now mentoring. So you can think why we need teachers, right? So I want to speak about that. Why we need a school, why we need a teacher. Instructors transmit knowledge, but mentors cultivate identity. They create confidence, they inculcate vision. Help students see their hidden potential. What is potential? I have a switch. Till I switch on, this will be off. So you have some power within you. Each and every one of you are made to do greater things. But you are not knowing. So your mentors, how the sister today showed you 2 things should spark the others, should ignite the spark in you. So they should connect you to larger networks. It's not about filling a cup. It's about lighting a fire. So we are not building silos. So sometimes we just think that in many of the institutions, I'm in DRDO, some people are in ISRO, or you are instructors. They all think I have to do my work, finish and go on. So if I do a program, this belongs to me. It's not working alone. It's working in teams. It is building an ecosystem. It cannot thrive in isolation. You should always learn how to work with teams because you need an ecosystem, a collaborative space where each one will bring their unique advantages. So great innovation don't happen in cubicles. They happen in a conversation. For example, if one girl who joined in DRDO earlier, initially she had some issues in designing. I could have given some formulas or something and did. But what I did, I just connected her to a person who exactly works on that, who can speak into her life. And then when she simulated, we just asked critical questions. And then finally, when she did the prototyping and it failed, we just didn't blame her but asked her how it failed, why it failed. Helped her to design the better one. This is all about mentoring. So this is very important. That is why it cannot happen in cubicles. It can happen only in conversation. And that is how we develop ecosystems. It's a competition. You are not competing with one another. It's all about collaborations. The strongest learning happens at the intersection of academia, industry and national research labs. You should connect with industry. You should connect with national research labs. That's how your teachers, your lab has called vice chancellors and scientists from other people, places to understand why collaboration is so important. So now we need to break free from the culture of silos and embrace a culture of co-creation. So encourage interdisciplinary projects. It's not about mechanical. See, for example, I studied physics for 3 months in a college, and then I did my engineering in electronics and communication for 4 years and got BE with honors. And after some time, I took masters and PhD in aerospace engineering from physics to electronics to aerospace, and then I did my project management and leadership from George Washington University, another change. And now I'm doing my PhD, going to complete in artificial intelligence and ethics. So you see a change, wide change. The same manner the previous Vice Chancellor, he said he is into so many things. So now it's all about interdisciplinary things. When you study about interdisciplinary things, you will understand why you do or what you do. Opening national labs for student fellowship, developing platforms for publishing, patenting, creating platforms where undergraduates can talk to PhDs, scientists, entrepreneurs and artists. This is all about mentoring. Mentoring is not just skill transfer, but vision formation. Today, if you have formed some vision for your future, we are your mentors. So good mentors challenge, support and inspire. So mentoring is not about filling a cup, but lighting a fire, as I said. So now after mentoring, I just wanted to bring you into the next thing, and I'm going to finish it soon. You should become T-shaped professionals. What is a T-shaped professional? That's what I showed from my example. How I moved from physics to electronics and communication to aerospace to leadership to project management to AI and ethics. So that's a vertical bar and broad curiosity and collaboration across multiple fields. And then you have depth in one particular field. So that is what T-shaped person. Deep expertise in one domain. That's a vertical bar and broad curiosity and collaboration across multiple fields. Let me give you a case study. Before that, what is a T-shaped professional? This example is aerospace, computer, mechanical engineering, and AI ethics, human-centered design, communication. So an aerospace engineer, when he designs or she designs, ethics has to come. AI designer, ethics has to come into picture. Human-centered design, communication, all these things play a part. So the future belongs to those who can connect dots across various domains. So why interdisciplinary collaboration matters? Climate technology, Mars rover. You need how many technology to develop Mars rover? You have seen recently people going to Mars. People haven't gone, but we have sent the rover, but soon people are going to go. So there, how many cross domains? Let me show you. Mechanical engineers build the rover. Geologists are interpreting the Martian field. AI experts are navigating the terrain. Communicators or designers are telling the story to the public. And then finally, ethicists discuss planetary protection protocols. Right? That's why I have written a book called Beyond the Boundaries of Science, Exploring the Cosmic Story. In that, I have written about cosmology, then physics and philosophy, theology, all the intersection to find out where did we come from. So, is there a God behind everything, or is there nothing behind everything? Is there a gravity who created us, or is there a God who created us? So you can read about my book Beyond the Boundaries of Science and the Grand Cosmic Story in the YouTube and in the Google. So cross-functional teams working towards a common vision. That's very, very important. So what institutions to do, they can do to cultivate T-shaped individuals or students. Break silos between the departments. You should have interdepartmental hackathons and design challenges. You should combine mechatronics with psychology. And you should create mixed discipline spaces. Similarly, design interdisciplinary courses like AI plus ethics, technology, public policy, and promote team-based, problem-centered learning like climate resilient solutions, assisted medical devices, smart city design. So these are some of the things which I am just going forward. So finally, what is the core pillars? I said 3 pillars: AI tutors, real-time feedback, personalized learning. Augmented reality, virtual reality is about simulations. Digital twins is about optimization. that leads to global learning ecosystems. And you create intelligent systems and human-centered AI that creates societal transformation through smart minds. But now, what values are we coding into the systems? So you design a very efficient system, but no ethics is built into it. Is it useful? No. If your system is very efficient with no ethics, it's of no use. A tech solution without empathy can harm. An AI that optimizes for efficiency without ethics can do much harm. So that is why engineers must ask, should we build this? It's that I should build this, you should we build this? Is it really needed? It's no longer a political thing. Ethics should be embedded into it. It's before that you should pass, reflect, and then move on. So ethics and values and engineering. Let me go about it in detail, but human should be in the loop. You should not allow machines to have autonomous capacity, because we should raise ethical engineers first who build everything with wisdom. For example, you have a self-driving car, right? What would you program it to do? For example, this car is facing an issue. It has to get into some accident. Either it should kill the on the road that passenger, or it should kill the pedestrian. So it has to have, either it should go and hit against itself and the passenger will get hurt, then you have insurance issues, or the passerby, the pedestrian should get hurt. So in Germany, it prioritizes pedestrian. In the US, sometimes insurance issues take over. So you have to have all these things, think about it. So now facial recognition in public education spaces. So what's this all about? Can you tell me why facial recognition is an issue? Finally, I'm just going to end, so I thought let me ask you. For example, this figure, what this figure is showing, a CCTV security camera is pointing at a student, right? And the teacher is very concerned why they are taking the facial recognition of the student. The student's face is digitally marked. So this is a surveillance camera it does. But what is the problem? Privacy violation. Students can be recorded and analyzed continuously. Should schools become surveillance center zones? They can have racial and gender biases. For example, the MIT study showed high error rates in detecting faces of darker-skinned individuals and women. And so, constant monitoring sometimes can lead to stress, conformity, reduced freedom, and even in public education spaces, they have no choice, but everybody have to go through facial recognition. So that is why this has to be thought about. Then amplifying bias from male-dominated data. For example, in Amazon, they were asking for a job interview with an AI camera. So after some time they found the AI has chosen 90% of men because some bias was built into that. That's how you have bias. AI can be biased based on who builds it. Filter out qualified female or minority candidates, it can remove. So lack of transparency in the process. So we need to be very careful of who is building that system. And finally, IML defense. So what if I give a drone or I give a machine, a gun, and just tell this sort of faces, if you see, go and shoot them off. They just walk on the road and whomever have that features, they keep killing. You know, drones were used to kill many terrorists, right? But AI-controlled drones can identify targets, carry out strikes without human intervention. But what if I send a drone to my enemy and I give some features, but instead of killing that person, it kills someone else with similar features. So we need to be very careful. And can a man be allowed to be killed by a machine? That is another ethical question. So what is accountable if the drone makes a wrong decision? What if civilians are misclassified as combatants? I tell that this person with this face is a terrorist, but a civilian could have similar thing, and a terrorist could have worn a mask. So the drone will not, without the human element, it's very difficult. So an algorithm cannot have mercy. An algorithm cannot have empathy. That is why super intelligence, when they take over also, machines cannot become equivalent to human beings. They cannot be made in the image of God. So human in the loop thinking. Human in the loop means that in every critical decision, a human being must be present. Judgment, empathy, and responsibility have to be retained. So that is why human in the loop thinking is very essential in medical diagnostics, criminal justice, because I tell the algorithm is telling some people to go to court, jail. And they had a similar algorithm in the US, and it marked many of the black Africans, Americans to go to jail because many of them had such history, and they studied that, and whoever has that color, it shows them more than the white color. So I'm sorry, so here I'm just telling you, this is the general thing which I have studied. So education, evaluation, so machines should assist, but humans should design. And finally, code with conscience. Ethics must be integral to AI education. Prioritize principles over unchecked progress. Remember that not everything that could be automated should be done. We should not build everything that can be automated. We should have ethics before that. Prioritize principles over unchecked progresses. So this is what I would like to say. And finally, engineering will help, not just code. Build not only systems but society. Teach students to think ethically, reflect deeply, and act responsibly. Smart minds must be paired with wise hearts. So this is so important. And finally, somebody came and asked, "Ma'am, I built an AI model to predict rainfall. But I didn't consider that tribal villages don't even have internet." Right? So we design the codes for only some high-level people. For village people, they don't have that understanding. So finally, technology makes things possible. Values design if they should. Let us not raise brilliant coders who are blind to consequences. Let us raise ethical engineers who build with wisdom and compassion and accountability. And finally, what kind of minds are we shaping with these tools? So to the educators, let us teach students to think, not just compute. Let's nurture curiosity, not just compliance. And invest not only in labs, but in cultures of questioning and collaboration. Build bridges between discipline and between academia and industry. I am telling you finally to the students to chase purpose, not just placement. Ask better questions before seeking better answers. So let us raise not just smart minds, but wise hearts. Let's raise not just skilled workers, but ethical leaders. So thank you.
Floor is open for a short question and answer, and the time is limited up to 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Harini. So, my question is, what technology would you suggest for us, the young minds, to learn in the future? Like, it would be cybersecurity, cloud computing, as we discussed about the virtual labs, like AR and VR. What technology would you suggest us to learn in the future?
What technology your own mind is telling you to do?
So I have a lot of technologies to go with, like blockchain and everything. But my part of interest is what you said about VR and AR, that is virtual labs. That was something booming in the future, I guess. So what is your insights?
I would say whatever you feel passionate about, take it. Every technology is good. That's why I always tell the teachers and the mothers, don't force your children into things that what they feel passionate about. What something within them is saying, I can do it, I want to do it. So that will make you to grow high. So I don't want to suggest anything because each one are creator. Each one has potential, talents. And I want you to work on that, think about it. You can Google for anything in the world, right? Can you Google for what is in your mind? That is why you should write about your future goals 10 years from now, 20 years from now. What am I going to become? That should be a passion. What is pulling me towards that? Write it down. Sometimes if you ask people, what am I doing? It's not, people just say this I'm doing. But why I do what I do becomes the purpose. The sister was telling today morning that purpose, there are two questions. When the day I'm born and why I'm born. So that's the purpose. That purpose when you achieve because you will understand for what I am made for. Thank you.
The Dean of felicitate our distinguished guest as a gesture of gratitude for the insightful engagement today. A big round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. So currently use of AI is encouraged too much in our generation. But even if in a class, if the teacher is giving a work to make a note on AI or whatever it is, if you use that AI, the teachers will be questioning us. So is it fair to encourage AI and criticize the use of AI?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So you can ChatGPT and give you a beautiful essay, right? So what happens when you go to your exam, you will fail because AI cannot go and sit for you and write, right? So what I wanted to say is, use all the technology as your servant. Don't make them your master. Just get the information. What does this book say? I just download some 5 books. For me, right now, I'm writing a book on futuristic warfare. So in that book, for example, I cannot write about all the 7 domains or 5 domains, whatever you have, space, land, air, sea, and cyber, and all the things. So what I do, I just take some 2-3 books, feed it into it, and then get some information from that, read through. Again, get some journals, put it into it, read through. So I might take a long time to read a journal, a book. But in that book, whichever chapter it has that information, it takes it out and gives it to me. But without reading, if I just put everything together, it's not anything what I am supposed to do. I am supposed to get, so now earlier if I am reading one book, I get this much information. Now I can read 100 books. And all the information I should be able to think about which way to take it forward. And again that information ChatGPT can put it together and give me. So then what happens is, my knowledge grows and my information capacity grows, but I don't use it as a master. Just I don't allow it to download and put it here without reading. So that's what I wanted to say. Use AI, make them your servants. Develop, you can become expert in multiple fields. But you have to use that and you have to go, it has to go into your mind. Is that fine?
Thank you.
Hope there are no more questions.